the red pill. As the choice was given to Neo in the movie The Matrix, Morpheus tells him, you take the blue pill and you wake up in La La Land, wake up in your bed and act as if nothing has ever happened. Or you take the red pill and I'll show you just how far and deep the rabbit hole goes. My name is Jacob Adams. I'm a fitness and leadership coach. I help people just like you get to the next level. Have you encountered the concept of taking the red pill? My experience with awakening and taking the red pill, seeing what's on the other side, as Jim Morrison talked about years ago, break on through to the other side, has been broken down into different phases, epochs, and levels in my life. Whether it was in my teenage years, in my mid-20s, or even now as a full-grown adult, I continue to take this concept of the red pill. So what does that mean for men? People like you and me? Well, we as men, you may have seen, are struggling at the moment with losing a sense of identity as to our true inner masculine core. In a time where society, the media, may have you believe that there is no value to masculinity as the traditional or way that we were raised to believe it prior to the year 2000 or so. Society may have you believe that there's absolutely no value. Even myself, growing up, I've worked with some of the ideas that the macho culture in itself had absolutely no value, right? That it was some outdated concept. Whether it was with my first girlfriend, I've seen that sometimes in relationships we try to be so equal that we lose some of the polarity and the sexual magnetism that once created that sexual attraction. I remember feeling like in one of my relationships that lasted several years with the girl that I was madly in love with in high school, I moved in with her and it sort of started feeling like we were roommates after a certain time, because there we were paying half the bills, working side by side as co-workers, and et cetera, et cetera. I didn't really see anything wrong with it. The only thing that I did see over time was that we just sort of lost a lot of that feminine, masculine attraction. And this has happened with another girlfriend. Again, it starts off with a masculine, feminine attraction, this energy, and then we start seeing that there's a dissipation as we start treating each other so equal. Now, I'll say it here now that men and women are worth the same. We are, with that same value, different. And that is what the social engineering of the world around you would like you to believe is not true. As we're watching this though, you watching this, the chances that you understand that I'm correct in this position are high. It's very common for people that are a male gender or female gender to understand that there's a complete sanity in knowing that there's a masculine energy and a feminine energy, and the two attract each other and dance with each other. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't feel good holding close to another man and dancing because that's not my sexual orientation. I would, however, like the idea of holding a feminine woman in my arms and dancing and smelling her and feeling a sense of attraction to her feminine je ne sais quoi. So I've seen that in my life, that there's this neutralization effect that occurs when we treat each other like we're not any different. And I've seen an improvement when I do treat women like beautiful, feminine people, right? And that is where why I'm making this video, to talk about these differences. Take this idea, this one video, and make a first video that talks about these frames, so that we can start establishing some structure in our society. See, I don't have all of these views on YouTube, and I don't think I'm gonna reach the entire globe with one video. But you, by watching and opening your eyes to these differences, this masculine, feminine dance around you, can start impacting the world around you as I impact the world around me. For example, one quick thing that I've noticed is there was a time in my life where I totally wrote off masculine culture on like the macho level, because the jocks in high school were kind of dumb. I thought, I was like, oh, these guys are annoying. You know, I felt they were very douchey sometimes. And I saw my dad sometimes lose his temper, and I thought, oh, that's just uncalled for, you know? And so I thought there was this aspect to being macho that I really wanted to write off. Now, with that, I also saw a part of masculinity growing up that was very, very, very awesome. He was there to protect the family. My dad would take me to football practice and cheer me on and love it when I made a good play. And he would take my sister to ballet. We had very sort of specified gender roles, and we loved it. You know, we felt it was very harmonious for a short time. And then when things didn't work out too well for him financially, with his store, with his business, there was a problem in the family, and eventually they divorced. Now, all that said, my search to finding a more healthy outlook on relationships and being a man has been one that I've been working on all my life. Like I told you just a little while ago, yes, I've had relationships with about 3 that really didn't have enough of that male masculine energy. At first it started like that, but as time went on, we sort of started treating each other just like people, you know, not really understanding the gender roles. And then eventually there would be like a neutralization, and then, or maybe like arguments. There was nobody having a set structure that could carry on into the years. And I've seen that. It's been very painful. So after enough of those, I then decided to get closer to God, because I felt that was the only thing I hadn't done. You know, I had already gone to college, gotten a car, gotten a house, gotten relationships, but I never really searched for God in my heart. So I started a meditation practice, and I've been single ever since 2015. Now, that may sound like, to say someone like you, let's say you have a girlfriend right now, and you hear that, and you could think, poor Jacob, right? And the reality is that I don't feel so poor. I actually feel quite liberated because I have taken the red pill. And some of the things that I found were that, you see, us as men are the actual romantics in life. It's been said, men are pretending to be realists, but actually romantics. And men are pretending to be realists. Men are pretending to be realists, but actually romantic, right? And women are pretending to be romantics, but actually realists. So here we are as men walking around acting tough, but in reality we're these soft, tender creatures that have such a capacity to love and to do so many things for our family and our women, right? And so I found that to me was what was confusing. And that's why I needed some time with God for myself, because I really couldn't make any sense of this until I took the red pill, and I've been working with God and seeing what I needed. As a matter of fact, it was Yogananda that wrote that. He wrote that to pray to God to let Him bring to you the woman, so that you may attract your woman of perfect soul union. And on some level, that's to be laughed at by society, people like yourself, potentially, that I would have the idea of being a modern man thinking that I could find a soul mate or soul union. The only reason I don't think it's funny, or I don't think it's so naive, is because I just don't see any other way to actually marry someone and have kids if I don't find that woman that can actually have a certain respect for the family, respect for God, respect for the sanctity or that union of marriage, and faith in me to provide, or faith in the family to prosper, and commit herself to, making sure that our family flourishes and not create drama to the point where it sets the family back, right? And so that's where the woman based on soul union is why I look for. I understand that in modern times, that's a tall order. I'm also not ignorant enough to believe that, every single woman out there is out to find true, sincere love. And that's what the red pill is about. It's to basically say, listen, we understand that we are as men romantics. There is a sense of reality that you have to face. And that is the hard part. Yesterday, before bed, I wrote the following. I said, as men, we have our work. We have our love for life, our love for music, the love we have for our friends and family. We have our love of laughter. We have muscle to build. We have books to read and write. We have a muse. Ironically, the quickest way to throw all this away is to believe that romance can save us. That without it, we are incomplete. Nothing ever saves us, especially not romance, not a romantic relationship. Some may wonder why I'm writing this. It's a memo for men. So even if a man reads this and says, nah, Jacob doesn't know what he's talking about, at least I know. I share my moment of clarity with you. It may make some men feel worried that we are God's children out here walking among the stars. That while we cover our body with clothes, in reality, our chest and our beating heart inside it, brushing the eternal ether, is the rawest truth we have. Romance can't save us from that. It's already as romantic as it gets. To sum up what I'm saying there, it's that we'd like the idea that romance or finding that perfect woman as men can help us feel complete. In reality, we're already complete. And the believing an illusion that a romantic relationship can save us from some desolate feeling, some alienation within ourselves, that is the lie. See, nothing ever saves us. We can only save ourselves and love our work and be the masculine beings that we are. This is to have a masculine core, to live a life of purpose, to live through our work, to live through what we create, to focus on mastery. As I make this video, it's part of that to me, this coaching, this gift, this process, this technique that God has blessed me to see, that I'm a coach. This is part of my purpose. And so as I explain these things to you, please understand that I am fully aware and know that on some level, I am still very much a believer in the ultimate truths and the ultimate love, and that there can be that right woman for us, a soulmate. At the same time, I understand the other side of the coin, which is to know that men are the ones that believe in this like abstract idea of having a soulmate, of this elusive idea. And it's us that are romantic, and not to expect a woman to match our romantic nature. Again, this is the red pill of truth, that it's hard. It's hard because now we're left to what? Live a life of our work, live a life of our convictions. And in that rawness, you will experience a sense of pain and masculinity that, if you live through, can empower and ignite you. So this is some of the hardest stuff that I have found and work with. Today, I've made some good videos. and I've been working through being single for 4 years now. Sure, my ex will occasionally call and try to talk to me or whatever, but I've had to cut that cord and let that completely go, and all of the relationships from the past, completely let that go, and ask myself, really, what do I truly, 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 without any reservation, want to create? I don't want to be someone that goes to strip clubs, or that's what I do to escape some sort of work or some sort of pain. I want to face my pain and face my work and develop my body and build a business and support and build and impact people around me positively, right? Now, I do realize that that is part of what society wants from me, so on some level, that is good. But to do it on my terms, that is the masculine aspect. To do it with my goals in alignment with my values, that's the masculine part. That is where strength is needed. And that is some of the most important thing I could leave you with today. In the past, you could say, men were these realists on the surface, but truly in the core romantics. Taking the red pill is about being realists and being romantic with that reality, not with this illusion that romance or love will save you from yourself. Nothing will save you from yourself. You have to embrace everything you are today, and that's what you are. Naturally, someone can... So look, you don't have to take the red pill. To maximize your overall truth and protect yourself from the world around you that wants to dwindle and prevent you from embracing your masculinity, look into it. Look into taking the red pill. If a man watches this far and chooses not to, that's fine. It's understandable. That might be the better choice for him. I'd love to hear your comments, but more importantly, take action. This is Jacob Adams. We'll see you next time.